Welcome back to my tutorial videos, guys, and today we're going to be looking at the window and door schedules, and we're going to be making them and creating our window and door schedules. Why the door and window schedules are usually necessary is because maybe you want your joinery works to be done well, or your carpenter to do the work a bit good. You have to have a separate sheet that contains how the windows and the doors look like for your project, so that you can give him or her, so that she or he can do the work the way it's supposed to be. So to create a window and door schedule, we first have to identify all the doors that we have, which we have like 3 doors in the ground floor, and on story 1 we have like 1 door and 1 opening here. So this is virtually the identifying using site, but we have to identify it first in the plan so that we can able to have them in our window and door schedule. So to identify them, we are going to use markers. So first of all, we are going to start with the door schedules, and then we are going to move forward to the window schedules and finish it off like that. So to identify these doors, we're going to use markers, which are going to put them on each door before we start making the schedule. So the first door we see here, to make sure the marker is seen, you'll have to go to the marker type here and choose the one that is supposed to be the one that we want. Maybe this one. I think this one is the right one. Yeah, we're going to use that one. Yes, so I chose the D marker 26, which we're going to be using for our door. So to make sure our marker looks better, because I don't like how it's like this, I don't want to see the width and the height of the door yet. I can see that in the schedule itself. I just want to see the door name, and that's virtually what I want to see, and I don't want to see this line too. So to fix this, I'm going to the door settings in our settings here, and I'm going to go to the marker style and text. So first of all, I'm going to remove this one, or reduce this dimension marker to make it a bit virtually non-existence. This circular stuff here, the circular object on the dimension marker, I'm going to make it non-existent so that I can only have the name. And then I'm going to the marker symbol and text, and the marker head, I want to check it off. That's what I was talking about. And the marker position, I want it to be at least 2 millimeters from where the window is, and I don't want the extension line, the line that you have seen in the plan. That's the extension line. I don't actually need it. The dimension position, I want it to be 2 millimeters away from the window. So that's all the door. So that's the first thing. The next thing, I want to know the content of the marker for the window. I want to show the window seal, because this is the door seal, I mean, because we need it for our joinery information too. Let's continue. The dimensions, I don't actually want to see the height and width necessarily at the plan. I want to see it at the door schedule. So to change that, I'm going to change this opening width to custom text, and then I'm going to make it 0 so that nothing is seen. Or actually, I'm just going to leave it blank so that nothing is actually seen on the plan, so apart from the door name. So that's what I want. These other ones are actually, and they're not be seen, they're not necessarily needed in the marker. So I think that's the only thing that we need. Actually, let me just see. The next thing we actually want to make is the door name, which we're going to change in the classifications and properties. So the ID or the door name, we're going to write it as door 1. So that's the first door of our project. So that's the first name. So we're going to press OK. So with that done, we'll see this is what you're going to have, the 1. And if there are many instances of this door, you'll just have to take the attributes of this door and paste it on the other instances. But now we have 1 door, so that's how we're going to name it. So the next door actually is this one. So these 2 doors are actually different in terms of width, so each of them is going to be independently treated. So do the same thing, go to your marker type and make it the D marker 26, and then go to the settings and change how the marker is going to seem. First of all, let me change the door ID and make it door 2. So, and then for the marker symbol and text, I'm going to remove the marker head. Then I'm going to make the marker position to be 2 millimeters away, and the marker dimensions to be 2 millimeters away too. So that done, the extension line, I don't want it to be seen, so I'm going to check it out. So the next thing, I'm going to look at the measured value. I told you I don't want to see the width and the height of the door yet. I'm going to see that in the door schedule itself, so I'm going to remove them out and leave them empty. So that done, now we have everything actually checked out. And then this one I want it to just be 0 in short, and maybe this one to be black. So that done, now we have door 2, and this one is I'm going to the same thing for the next door, which is going to be door 3. It's going to make sure it's ID marker 26, change its ID. Actually, you can change the classification in the ID here on the top menu. You're just typing it out, door 3, and then go into the settings and doing the same with the settings that we did before. So yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to check out this marker head, and I'm going to check out make the marker position to be 2 millimeters, check out the extension line, and check out the dimension position. So now I'm just changing the dimension position. So the next thing I told you was the measured value, the open width and height. I don't want them to be seen, so I'm just going to change them to custom text and leave them blank. So that done, now the classification, I already changed the door name to door 3, so that's already okay. So that done, maybe I want the door or the dimensions to be a bit smaller, or the door name to be a bit smaller, so I'm just going to reduce it to be maybe 1 millimeter, or the dimension marker to be 1, and then I'm going to change it to make the door name a bit smaller, so that you can have it conspicuous in my plan. So I'm going to make it 1 here too. Then I'm going to press OK. Then do the same for this other one. Yeah, so let me make it 1. The marker text and style, I'm going to make it 1 here. So that done, I'm going to press OK. Yes, so that's actually okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to the story 1. I'm just going to confirm how wide this door is, so that I can know. Yeah, it's 900, so this one is actually the same as the door 2 here. So just to change and take the attributes to the same door, I'm just going to pick the attributes of this door here, and then I'm going to go to story 1 and put them on the same instance of that door. So yeah, so you can see it's going to just change the ID and put the marker. Just going to change the name manually to door 2, because that's the door name. Yeah, so I'm going to change it to door 2, I guess. Yeah, so that done, now we have our doors complete. So the other door is this one is actually classified as a door, this opening here. Excuse me. But it's going to automatically apply in our schedule, so we don't need to mark it. So the other door that we need to mark is the last one. This is the door 4. I'm going to name it door 4. Yeah, so we're going to name it door 4. And then I'm going to the marker and changing it to the D marker 26. That done, I'm going back to the settings, and I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing the whole process. So I'm going to change the marker head, remove the extension line, change the dimensions position, and change the marker position. So that's what I want to change, and I'm going to change I'm also going to change the measured value here to custom text, and then make it blank, because we're going to see that in the door schedule. So that done, now we are going to actually press OK, and we are going to just change the dimension actually of this door marker text. So it's going to be 1, and then now we are going to press OK. So that done, now we actually finished marking all our doors and identifying them in our plan. The next thing is just going to opening the door schedule, which is actually in the view maps, and we are going to go to the schedules here, elements, and then we are going to door schedule. So it's going to be the first option here. Yeah, so you can see now everything is actually done. Yeah, so you can see it grouped my doors in terms of each door that is in the appeared twice. Like for example, door 2, it has 2 of them in the quantities. That's why I usually take the attributes. So these 2 I actually need to group them too, because they are going to make everything look bad because they are opening. So I'm just going to the plan first, and then I'm going to change their classification, not from doors to openings. So I'm just going to select the opening. I'm going to go to the settings, and then I'm going to the classification here, ID. I'm going to change it to opening. Just change it to opening here, and then I'm going to press OK. And then the same thing I'm going to do with the one for the ground floor. I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to change the classification. So yeah, I'm going to change the classification to opening up on top here, without necessarily opening the settings. So caps lock opening. Yeah, that done. I'm gonna press this, and I hope it has come, or it has removed himself for our schedule. Yeah, it should definitely remove itself because I've changed the classification from a door to an opening, but it just comes to the end. Now the doors are given the priority, and then the openings are given the last priority. So to now manipulate our door schedule, I'm going to arrange the door schedule in a way that I want it to be a bit more structured in terms of the information presented here. So I'm going to open the scheme settings, and then I'm going to remove anything that I don't actually need. For example, the handicap accessibility, the fire exit, thermal resistance, yeah, thermal transmitters, fire resistance, I might need that, and sound transmission class. Actually, for now I might actually need it, but for now actually we are creating a simple door schedule, so this is what we are going to need. So the zones too, I'm going to remove this one, width and height, quantity. Yeah, so first thing I want to arrange it by I want to arrange the information in a way that allows for me to identify the door and then identify its characteristics. So first of all, I'm going to identify it by going to the 2D or the 3D back view. I'm going to drag it to the top here, and then after the 2D back view, I'm going to identify after the 3D, I'm going to identify the 2D, and then I'm going to look at the quantity, the nominal height and size, height and width, the mean orientation, the nominal seal height, the head height, and fire resistance name. So this one I don't actually need it too. So those classifications made, I'm going to press OK, and you're going to see it's going to appear this way. So it's going to be just a normal door schedule with the names, the 3D, the 2D, the quantity, and everything just okay. So the fire rating, resistance rating, I'm just going to change it because this wooden, I think it's going to be, you're just going to actually have to research on your wooden doors and name and actually pick the minutes that you want for the fire rating. So with that done, I'm just going to put it in an hour. Same for this one, and the same for this one. This one is going to be actually a little bit, let's say, I don't know, it's going to be a bit stronger because it's made of glass, and this one is These ones they don't need fire ratings because they are opening. So yeah, so with that done, now we have our simple door schedule. That is actually the beginning of it, but I might actually need some new some other new properties that I want to bring them out in my door schedule, because these properties, maybe the ones that are in ARCHICAD here, might actually not be the ones that these ones that are here. Let's go to the add fields. You can see these ones are the ones that I want. Yeah, these ones are the ones that are for the doors, but actually I might need something else, maybe a description, the wall hole dimensions. I might need this one too, so I'm going to add it. Yeah, so, and then I might need another one too. Let me add another field, the leaf or the frame thickness. I might need it too. And what else I might be needing? I might need also the description of the door. So that's what I actually need. Let me look for any glazing first before we continue. There's no glazing. So if you see there are no properties in the ARCHICAD default menu, we'll have to actually put ourselves and make our own properties so that we can have a complete door schedule. So this frame thickness, I don't like the ones that the ARCHICAD is providing, because it's providing for something. I think it's in meters, so 0.12 meters. It's actually, let's say that's 12 centimeters. Yeah, so actually it's okay, because these frames are usually 12 centimeters and above. Yeah, so the frame thickness, it's going to be okay, but the only thing that I want to add is the description, which I'm going to simply add by going to the property manager and adding something like the description in it. So I'm going to the property manager, and then I'm going to general ratings here, and then I'm going to, let me just select the general ratings, and then I'm going to create a new one, a new property. So I'm going to call it description. Yeah, so with that done, I'm going to create it and press OK. And then I'm going to change the data type to option set, so that I can have any different options that I need. Let me just press OK first. And then let me first make the options here. For example, the descriptions of my doors are going to actually either be timber door, 12 centimeters thick, no glazing. Those are the type of things you write in the description. Timber door, 12 centimeters thick, no glazing. With a sash, frames, designed sash. So that's what we actually, that's one of the descriptions for one of my doors here. And then I'm gonna add another one, the next one, which is timber door, timber framed door. Let me name it that. The glass glazing. Centimeters thick. Yeah, that's the type of thing that we need for the other door. Then I'm going to add another one, which is there any other type of door that we have? No, I think it's only these two descriptions. So with that done, I'm going to press OK. And then I'm going to go to the last thing here, which is the availability for classification. And then I'm going to press custom. And then I'm going to edit it and go to it and make sure it's visible for my openings, which are doors. Let me put it for doors, shift doors and windows. Let me press the door plus OK. Sure, edit it and then make it for the windows too. Okay, so Let me make sure it's appearing for the doors. So openings, let me just press the openings, press it OK. Yeah, so with that pressed, I'm going to, why isn't it remaining in that place? So let me press OK, and then we go to the scheme settings and let's look for the property that you have just made. So it's going to be actually in general, and I'm going to look for it. It's going to be somewhere here. If you have not made it properly, we actually will make it again, because I don't know where it is. Yeah, it's actually in the general. I think it's supposed to be description or something. Let me just search for it. Description, yeah. Ratings, yeah, that is what we want, and then I'm going to add it. Yeah, with that added, you can see it's going to be added in our schemes. So I'm going to press OK, and then I'm going to the description. Yeah, I knew something was wrong because it's not actually adding the option set yet. So let me go back to the property manager and look for it, and then that place that selected, I'm going to change it now to custom and edit it and make sure it's open for my openings. So yes, so for the doors, let me make sure it's and then I'm gonna press OK. Actually, we were supposed to check it because I was trying to check it and it was not checking out. It just needs something like a tick. This tick is necessary for that, so that it can able to be available for my doors and my windows. So just make sure it's ticked in the openings, and then I can press OK. So with that, you can see this thing happens. You can see it adds the classification to be available for the doors, openings, and the window. So I'm going to press OK, and you can see something's going to change. You see, now the description, you can actually change the option set depending on the type of door that you have. So for this one is the one that I made the other description for. So I'm going to change it to a framed door with a glass glazing. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Yes, with that side, I'm going to change these two, make it bold like the rest, and make it bold and like the rest of the classifications. So yes, so yeah, so with that done, now we actually have our door schedule almost complete, and the only thing remaining is actually maybe if you want the component settings itself, and in terms of the dimensioning of our door, you can actually just do it like this. You can come open it up, then annotate it, and then you can manually dimension it using your dimensioning tool. So I'm gonna have to go to the documents, the dimensioning tool, and then I'm just going to manually dimension it. And here it allows you to do various things, like you can actually, if you want it a detailed dimension, you can add another view, and then you can make it, you can actually dimension it in terms of the design itself. Let me just say it. For now, I want a simple thing like this. Then I'm gonna press OK, and it's going to appear on the 3D back view too. So I'm going to annotate this one because maybe they are not, the carpenter does not want to read the classifications itself. So I'm just going to put it visually for him, the dimensions visually. So yes, so hope you're following. And the next thing I'm going to do is going to do the same thing for our windows and finish off our project. So annotate the same thing for the rest. Yeah, so like that. Then I'm gonna press OK, drag it out, press this one, press this one, press OK, then drag it out like this, somewhere there, and then press OK. The next thing is for our door. Yeah, so press it there, press it there, press OK there, and then put there. Okay. Yeah, now I can actually say we have made a substantial door schedule that has some of the main things that we need in a door schedule. So this is actually what we need. And there's another trick I want to show you about the door schedule because it might be necessary if you have a bigger project. Yeah, so for example, if I only want to see the doors for my ground floor and not the whole thing, so I'm just going to the scheme settings again, and then I'm going to add a classification here, and I'm going to manipulate it in terms of the criteria. I'm going to make sure it's a door, and then the classifications I'm going to make sure it's only for the ground floor. So let me just make sure it and create my classification. Yeah, so as to, for example, I've written here ARCHICAD classification is a door, and let me make sure it's and or, and then I'm going to add a criteria. I'm going to make sure it's the floor plan. I'm going to make sure I'm going to look for the home story and create that as a criteria. Let me look for it. Let me just search here. Home story. Yeah, the position is the home story now. I'm going to add the criteria, and then I'm going to make sure that added into this ground floor. You see, now I have two criteria in terms of the ARCHICAD classification is a door, and or the home story is ground floor. So that's how you actually make. You can see if I press OK, it's going to actually show the doors that are only in the ground floor. Yeah, that's necessary for big projects like for mixed-use designs or for skyscrapers, maybe where you have different things for your. Sorry for that phone call. So yeah, so as I was saying, actually the classification is supposed to be is a door here, and then in this arrow, I'm making sure it's going to be and not or, and the home story is ground floor. So I'm gonna press OK, and you can see it only brings the door and the only the doors that are in the ground floor. So if I change the same thing to story 1, it's going to bring only the doors for the story 1. So that's a trick that you can actually use for bigger projects. Maybe when you want your doors are different in terms of the ground floor, for you want something to, you want the carpenters for the ground floor to do it, the doors for the upper floor. So that's how you just separate it. So for now we just want the whole thing because it's a small project, so I'm just going to remove it, and then I'm going to press OK. So that done, now we are actually complete. Our door schedule is complete, our simple door schedule in terms, and this you can actually do a more complex one than this in terms of the assembly details and things like that, but this is the one that we have for now. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to make the window schedule the same process as we have just done with the door schedule. So for the window, we're just going to come to the windows and identify them and mark them the same way that we did for our door schedule. So we're going to start with this bigger window, and I'm going to go to the window marker and make the window marker 26. So with that done, I'm going to the settings, and then I'm going to the dimension marker, and let me first make the dimensions to be 1, remove the header or the head, remove the extension line, make the dimension marker to be 2 millimeters, the marker position to be 2. Yeah, and then the next thing that we need for our window is the window sill, which is actually okay. There is supposed to be a measured value. Yeah, so we don't need the ID on our window, we just need the window sill, and then the width and the height we actually are going to see it in the window schedule, so we don't need them in the plan. So I'm just going to remove and keep them empty. do the same for this. So that done, I'm going to make this window 1 and do the same for the rest windows. So W1, and you're going to see this. So why am I only seeing this? I'm just going to make sure it's okay. Where is the ID? Let me make sure the ID is also seen, because actually I made a mistake by removing the ID, so I'm just going to make sure it's seen. It's somewhere here. Yeah, so I'm going to show the ID. It's supposed to see window 1 here. So that's done. The next thing is this window, which is going to be window 2. Let me just make sure the ID is window 2 already. First, let's make the marker this, and then the ID to be window 2. Window, then space 2. So going back to the settings, and we're going to design remove the marker head, remove the extension line, make the dimensions to be 2 millimeters from the window, and the position marker to be 2 millimeters. So the next thing we need is remove the width and height. I'm just going to remove them and keep them empty. So that said, I'm going to press OK, and it's going to show only this, the window seal and the window ID. So I'm going to make the dimensions to be a bit smaller, maybe 1 for the ID. Yeah, so with that done, I'm going to go to the next window, which is window 3. These windows are different, that's why I'm making them independently. But if they're the same, I could have just checked the attributes and copied them on the next window. So it's window 3. Yeah, and then do the same process. I know it's a cumbersome process, but it's necessary for the design. So I'm going to put it 1, then remove the marker head, move the marker position to be 2, then this one to be 2 too. Yeah, so I'm going to remove the extension line and make sure the measured values are not seen in a floor plan by just keeping them empty. Yeah, so I'm just going to actually do this continuously until I finish. Do the same for that, but actually this window has 2 instances. In terms of it's going to be this one and this one, they're actually the same. So I'm just going to take this one and inject it on the next one. Yeah, so but I don't see the ID, so I don't know what's wrong. So I'm just going to make sure the ID is seen. The ID is supposed to be seen, so I'm not. Yeah, so classification, the 3. Yeah, so that done. Let me make sure this one is window 3 too. Let me select it and change its classification to window 3. Right, make sure you write it the same way you wrote it for the first window. So let me do the last window, which is this one, window 4. So that's done. And then the marker to be window marker 26. Then when I put the settings, do the same thing. So same thing. So we have finished identifying our windows for the ground floor. So I'm just going to take the attributes of this window, because I know there's a bathroom on the upper floor, and then I'm going to inject it on the upper floor windows. So take it and inject it on these upper floor bathroom windows and change their ID to be the ones that we want. So select these, shift, select these, change them, both of them to window 4. Yeah, so yes, with that done, let me just make sure this one is also has some same attributes. Yeah, not this one is independent. This one is the same as the one from the ground floor, but I think the seal is different, so it's going to be ground floor. Let's take the attributes and then go to the story one, inject the attributes. Yeah, so let's just make sure it's window 1. And let's look for other instances. Yeah, this one is the same as the one. So it's the same as one of the windows for the ground floor. So I'm just going to take the attributes again. I think it's this window. And then I'm going to inject it on that. Yeah, and make sure it's window 2. Yeah, this identification process is actually very important, that we can have all the windows identified in our project. So make sure it's window 2 and press OK. Then this one is actually I'm going to name it window 5 because it's actually independent from the rest. So I'm going to the marker to be window marker 2, 26, and then the settings I'm going to play again to window 5. And then make this one 1. Symbol, marker head to remove. Extension line, we don't need it to. Same process. I know repeating something actually the best way of learning it. So we're going to be repeating it until we know everything. It becomes second nature. So custom text, remove everything here. Make sure it's empty, and then I'm gonna press OK. Yeah, so the window identification process is finished, and what's remaining is drawing up the window schedule. So I'm going to go to the view map again. I'm going to the schedules, then I'm going to window schedules, and then this is what's going to appear on my window schedules that is being drawn up. So I'm going to the scheme settings again, and then we're going to remove the unnecessary things that we don't need. So I'm going to remove these. I'm going to remove the library name, the zone. I don't need the zones too. And then I'm going to remove the, what else do I need to remove? The thermal transmittance. These two are actually very important for us, but for now it's actually more advanced in terms of the Windows schedule. So I'm going to remove these ones, and we will bring them back when we have a more complex Windows schedule. So I'm just going to arrange them in a way that I want it to be. Make sure the 2D and 3D are upwards, and then the information comes next. Then I'm going to add the fields that I need. For example, we had made a field of description, so we need that one. And then I'm going to add that one too. And then the next one, I think we're going to need the wall hole dimensions. So let me go to the wall hole dimensions. Where is it? I'm going to add it, and then I'm going to add the thickness of the frame. Yeah, so yeah, with that done, we have finished making our different files, so I'm just going to drag this one downwards for the last thing. Frame thickness or dimensions, this one too, I want it to be here before the fire resistance here. So I think everything is okay, and you don't need the head height for, just need the seal, because if you've got the seal, we are going to automatically have the head. So everything is okay, so I'm going to press OK. So with that arranged, now we have our window schedule. Let me make it a bit more visible. Yeah, so it's going to show the windows in the project and the quantity, the dimensions, the frame thickness, and things like that. So the next thing that we need is we're going to add the description for the windows and the wall hole dimensions too. So I'm going to go to the options, the element at the property manager, then the description, then go back to the option set here and add the description for my windows too. So I'm going to name them still windows with clear glass glazing. So windows with clear glass glazing. That's the only thing that we need for our windows, and press OK. And then I'm going to press OK. With that done, I'm going to select that one and make the description to be the right one. So yeah, I hope you're following, and hope you have an understanding of what a door and window schedule entails. So with that done, the next thing is when we need is the wall thickness, and we're going to do that shortly. So just make sure everything is uniform in terms of their position. Yeah, so for the wall dimensions, I think we are going to actually have to put it so that it can be visible for the windows too. So just going back to the documents, the options, the property manager, and then I'm going to look for that type of property. So I think it's usually in the openings. So let me just look for it. Let me look for wall hole dimensions. If it's there, that is. If it's not, we have to make our own. So I think it's not there. So let me make sure I have the right thing. Wall hole dimensions. So the options, property manager, wall hole dimensions. Where is it not visible? Yeah, it's not there in the classifications, so we have to make it. And we're going to create a new property and name it wall hole dimensions. The same thing that is there, but we're just going to remove the one that is there and replace it with this one. So wall hole dimensions. Yeah, so that done, we're going to create the group, and then we're making it an option set, and you're going to write each option with what we want. So I know there's 1500 by 1000. I know there's another option setup we need. I know there's 1800 by 1000, 100 by 1000, and I know these are 500 by 500 in terms of the backroom windows. Remember, these ones are in millimeters, and the last one I think is the 2000 by 1800. So make sure they are in mm, then copy and paste it there. Control Z. This one, make sure you paste it in the right place. Paste. So I'm gonna press OK. And then the availability for the classifications, I'm going to put it in custom, edit it, go to the classifications here, and I am going to make sure it's only for the windows. So I'm going to check the window here and check the windows, and then I'm going to press OK. So I'm going to press OK with that. Then I'm going to the scheme settings, remove this one that has no description, and then I'm going to put the one that I've just made, wall dimensions. Where is it? Yeah, it is general ratings. Then I'm gonna add it and drag it to where I want it. So I think it's somewhere, it's supposed to be somewhere here. So then I'm going to press OK. Then I'm going to go to it and select the one that is needed for each window. So this one is window 1. I think this one is the largest. It's this one. Window 2, it was 1800, I guess. So window 3 is okay. Window 4, window 3 is okay. These are two instances of the window because of the seal. Yes. So, and then window 4 is 500 by 500. Yeah. So window 5 is the last one. It's supposed to be 800 by 1000. I don't know if there's an option set like that, so I'm going to add it to our ratings. No, cancel here the option set up here. I'm just going to add another one, 800 by 1000 millimeters. So press OK, and I know it's going to be there now, so I'm going to look for it now. Yeah, with that finished, now we have our window schedule. Finish up the fire ratings. Fire ratings are supposed to be researched actually, but I'm just going to put them for our reference and our structure of our window schedule. So yeah, so with that done, now we have a complete window schedule for our project that you can give the carpenters or the people who are doing windows, so that they can actually make your own window. For the windows, you actually have to do the same thing. If you want to annotate them, just go and annotate the dimensions and the design of your window. And I hope you can do that with yourself, because I already showed you in the door schedule. So thanks for watching. So